Hey guys, I'm going to try to make this quick and simple and try not to shake the camera too much because I'm using my phone here. So I wanted to get you set up for the seabird class. That would be proper. So you're going to get a sketch like this. So basically everything in blue is what you're going to want to mask out. You can mask out using masking fluid or drawing gum. It's like $5 or $6 at Michael's. If you don't have that, we can discuss options at the end. But I have put this in my list quite often, and I'm going to show you how to mask up. So first thing you want to do is create a simple, like no detail at all, sketch of where your birds are going to be. So I did 2 seagulls and I did 3 plovers. And as you can see, it's just the shapes because we're going to define the birds with paint later on. So that way you're not locked into details right away. So we're going to use the masking fluid, and I'm going to show you a few different ways you can use masking fluids. First of all, you never want to shake masking fluid. You can just give it a little roll to loosen it up. Never want to shake it. If you do shake it, let it sit because it'll create bubbles in it. I use these plastic tools from ceramics. Sorry about that. However, there are also other metal tools you can use. It's just because it's more convenient for me to use these versus a brush, and I'll show you why. So when you want to use a brush, which gives you a little bit more texture, you want to make sure it's a cheap brush, and you want to make sure you prep your brush first. So I should say, beginning, your paper has to be 100% dry and good quality paper. So I'm just going to wet my brush just a little bit because I'm going to put it on soap. So you can take hand soap, liquid or bar, and you want to really rub your brush into the soap and really coat your brush. Okay, and you don't want to wash that off. So that's going to just kind of create a liquid barrier. Because if you take the drawing gum and put it on a regular brush or dry brush, it will stick to the brush and you will have a big sticky mess. So you can go ahead and just do this and then just block out your birds. The brush method is pretty nice for details, I gotta admit. I'm just lazy about trying the other way, about getting it all prepped up. So they do give you nice detail. So really we want to just block out the birds. So I'm just going to show you the other tools I use and why. So these are a little harder to get coated up, but they cover bigger spaces. So I can put a pretty thick amount and then just spread it out like that. That's going to be a front-facing bird, so I don't have to worry about his beak. So I could just cover more space like this. So really you have to decide why. Same thing with the metal tool. So the metal tool I purchased is a calligraphy inker. And I have no idea how to use it in that capacity, but it's there. So I do like to put a few little splatters just because I like to save the white as much as I can. So let's talk about this tool. So this tool is a little harder to maneuver. You can see it's still got a bunch of glue of tape stuck in there. However, this one's broken. It can create a nice fine point. I have different ones. And for me, this creates a very nice skinny wave or point, without having to have big lines. So if you see my sketch, anywhere I want waves to be, that's going to be where my white of the paper needs to come back. I'm going to put in some simple waves. Like, again, don't overthink this, just put them down. It doesn't have to be detail perfect because we're going to use the paint to create that. So see how it creates thinner lines? If I want thicker lines, I usually use the ceramic tool. This one right here. It's rubber. I like it. If you make it kind of thin, sometimes it's a little bit of the color will seep onto it, and it kind of gives a nice texture, a nice appearance. So for my waves, I want them to be, this is where my waves are going to break. See right here where all my wave is going to break. So if it has a little skip in it, it'll look very natural. So you want to prep your painting ahead of the class. Make sure that you let it dry naturally. If you've never done masking fluid before and this is your first time, give it a test on a scrap piece of paper just so you see what happens and how long it takes to dry. And also, if it's depending on what kind of paper, you might want to just paint a little bit on it, let it dry completely, and then see how it lifts off, because some papers, I've learned the hard way, don't accept masking fluid pretty good. What will happen sometimes is maybe the fibers are pulp, even though the ones we use are half pulp, they hold up, the Strathmore holds up, but there are some brands out there that will tear. And like I said, I'll just put a few dibs and dabs for sparkle later, and then I'm just going to let that dry naturally. I'm going to make sure that I clean my tools right away in a separate well that my water goes in, so I'll put them in my water well, and then I'll go wash the water well out. All right, hope that was explanatory enough for you.